Hey everybody, welcome back to this Life of Ours. I'm Coach Emily B. I'm the founder of Birch and Stone Coaching Collective. If you're new to this YouTube podcast, or maybe you're new following along on Spotify or Apple, this is episode 61. So I'm on my way. I'm on my way to figuring some things out. I do think there's going to be a change in the show pretty soon, and I'm excited about that. It's going to be a shift towards, I think, a little more engagement, some more storytelling, and some conversation back and forth. Probably I just gave it away, but I'm not going to tell you any further. Today, I want to talk about when we ask ourselves questions like, why does this bother me so much? Why can't I just let this go? Why do I keep having the same arguments, the same frustrations, the same emotional reactions over and over again? I'm hoping today's episode provides some answers to that for you. We're going to talk about the difference between emotional childhood and emotional adulthood. And when I first learned this in coaching certification, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what? I'm one age? I'm one age, one ability? No, no, not your actual childhood, not whether you're mature or immature. We're talking about emotional habits many of us learned without realizing that we were learning them, coping mechanisms, and how those habits continue to shape the relationships that we're in, how stressed we are over situations, how confident we feel, how we show up in our daily life. Here's what I've noticed after, wow, almost 6 years. No way. Yeah, about 5.5 years of coaching. A lot of adults are incredibly capable in many areas of life: run businesses, raise children, manage households, caring for aging parents, putting children to rest, leading teens through teen stuff. But emotionally, a lot of us are still waiting for the world to line up, to cooperate, to get on board with what we need before we allow ourselves to feel okay. And this could be major world events. It could be making sure the person that's joining your table at a restaurant is comfortable, feels welcome, has a chair. It could be simple things. Today, we're going to look at what emotional childhood sounds like, what emotional adulthood sounds like, and how making that shift can change almost every area of your life. So grab your coffee, head out for your walk, fold your laundry. I know, do the dishes. Ugh, or drive down the dirt road and just enjoy the scenery while you listen. Let's get into it.
Welcome to This Life of Ours, a space for real conversations, heartfelt insight, and everyday coaching. I'm your host, Coach Emily B., life coach, storyteller, deep feeler, and Vermont hobby farmer. Around here, we talk through what it means to grow, heal, and stay grounded in the life you've got while reaching for the one you want. I'll teach, I'll coach, I'll talk to myself. No matter the episode, I hope you leave feeling a little more connected and a little less alone in this life of yours. I'm so glad you're here.
Before I go any further and actually get into the details of this episode and the content and the teaching, I'm going to give myself a little disclaimer here. I'm going to give myself a little disclaimer. Video podcasting, very new to me. Looking at myself while I'm talking, new to me. Yeah, I coach on Zoom all the time, but I don't look at me. I'm watching all the members. I'm watching body language, facial expressions. So this is different. And I have to remind myself, this is not a mirror. Stop looking at yourself. Also, it has me, like, I just literally just messaged my hairstylist and said, I hate my hair. I hate my hair. Fix it. Or I can. And she knows what that means. So we're gonna fix it together. You guys, I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I like it long. I do like it long, but it gets like frizzy like this. If you're not watching the video, you all, you'll have to, sorry, you'll have to go to YouTube. The roots are growing out. It happens so fast. She always tells me this. She's always like, your hair it grows so fast. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. It has nothing else to do, I guess. It might as well just grow. And bangs. I don't like them up. I don't like them down. This reminds me when we were younger, my sister, she must have been, this is Rebecca I'm talking about. She was probably 4 or 5. Yeah, no older than 5. And she decided she didn't want bangs anymore. So she took her bangs in one like handful, one fistful, and put her fist like right up against her forehead and took scissors and just snip, 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 snip to get rid of her bangs. She had the cutest little patch of like really thick peach fuzz because you can't, that that's not just going to disappear. That's not how cutting bangs works. But that's what I want to do right now. I want to be like, just be gone, be gone. All right, enough about that. There's my tangent. Let's actually get into the episode, and I'm going to try not to be distracted. Oh, also, I'm trying this new thing where I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to edit this because there's a lot of people out there that look just so. They're just so, and everything's curated, and it's there's such a flow to it. And I think that's really awesome that you have someone that has that skill that can do that. It really is, and that's probably a gift to people to have that listening ear or that watchful eye. I'm just going to practice being me. So here it is, and there's not going to be edits. And so part of it might be like, what did she just say? The part where I'm like, can you cut that? Oh, wait, we can't? No, let's just like do it. Let's just have a conversation. What if we were just having coffee? I did tell you, go get your coffee, get out on your walk. I mean, that was the warning because that means we're friends now. We're friends now. We're just having a conversation. Maybe you like what I'm saying. Maybe you like the direction that this show goes, and maybe you don't, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not here to sell you on anything. All right, let's get to the show. Most of us are walking around with grown-up responsibilities, but our emotional skills are childlike. And it's not because those skills they've been broken or we're just immature. It's because nobody ever taught us what emotional adulthood actually looks like. How many of you, if you think back to your childhood, how many of you can remember a time when your parents said, you know what, that didn't go quite right. I'm sorry about that. Or I apologize for missing that game. I know it was important to you. Next time I will do this. Here's what I'll try. Do you remember that? And I'm thinking, I don't remember any apologies from any adults in my life. But also, I don't ever, that I can remember, I've not intentionally carried that around as like ammo or evidence that, see, this is why. That wasn't something I think I realized has a huge impact, is so important. It basically says, hey, you matter too. You matter too. And I know I matter to my parents. I'm also not suggesting that. This is subconscious. You matter too. You deserve an apology. We learned math, we learned our language, our grammar, we learned how to drive. We've learned a lot of things. But did we learn how to feel disappointment without making it mean, oh my gosh, this is a catastrophe? How about hearing no without taking it personally, without thinking this is rejection? Think about just that, rejection. How do you handle that? How did your parents or grandparents or how did your adults handle no? What did you observe? What did they do? Can you disagree with someone without needing them to change their opinion? This is where so much conflict comes from. We think we have to all be on the same page, and the same page has the same exact words in the same exact order. All right? Everyone in agreement? What if that's not what that means? What if we could have different opinions and agree to disagree? Agree that we want the same result, we're working towards the same outcome. It just looks totally different for each and every one of us. Same with like if you're growing something, like I'm growing a business right now. I'm pausing because I still hesitate to think of it that way. I just really feel like I'm showing up. I'm trying to contribute value based on the sense I'm making of what I see in the world. And it might be nonsensical to some people. To some people, it makes a lot of sense. I'm like, yes, those are the words I'm needing for what I'm seeing. Those words work for me. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's when we can look at the path ahead of us and see that there's things that are going to be uncomfortable. There's things that we're going to want to change. There's opinions we're going to hear that other people have that are different than the opinion we have. Perspectives, like making different meaning of things. Like I'm going to talk politics for like 40 seconds and then I'm going to move right on. But I think this is an example people really understand. If you vote Democrat, people make that mean something. If you vote Republican, people make that mean something. We have these unwritten manuals that say, oh, if you're a Democrat, that means da 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 da. Oh, if you're a Republican, that means da 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 about you. What if that's not true? What if it's true that there's different beliefs in two parties? But what if underneath the two parties, there's the same desired result to live the life you want, to reduce suffering, to whatever it might be? What if the underlying is actually quite similar, but the strategy, the tactics, totally different? Totally different. And then we create a narrative around that that says, oh, that's what that means about this type of person. That's what that means about this type of person. We do it in small conversations. If someone doesn't show up and with enthusiasm on your birthday and a dozen roses and a present and a card and whatever, what do you make that mean based on what you think should happen? What's your manual say is supposed to happen for a 21st birthday? And if they didn't do that, well, now we're creating conflict that's unnecessary because the way they saw showing up was different than the way you saw they should show up. And so now, instead of seeing that there's unique ways, we all have different strengths, we all have different ideas. It's individuality. Can you appreciate the person who shows up as they are without you having to instruct them? What would you need to be able to tolerate emotionally to let someone come to a birthday party without a gift? What would you need to tolerate emotionally to hear your child tell your parent, no, no, thank you, I don't want to? What would you need to tolerate emotionally to be open and vulnerable and say, I'm still gaining weight? I don't know why. What would you need to be carrying in you? And what is the belief or the thinking that says you can't do that? That's too much for you. So here, say this instead. Say this instead. That's emotional childhood. It's a way of relating to yourself, to other people, to the world that sounds like they shouldn't be doing that, or this here, this isn't fair. They need to change. Why is this happening to me? I was okay until she said that. That's saying that I can't reach myself because you're creating a distraction. So we need to figure out what's the bridge between the distraction and staying with yourself. When you notice the distraction, how do you call yourself back? How do you find the path back to what's mine right now? Is that my concern? Is that my worry? Or is this just within my view? Am I observing that someone else is going through something? I think we just spend a lot of time wishing or hoping that reality is going to cooperate with our expectations. What if we switch that a little bit and we create a reality for ourselves where we expect anything could go differently? I have an idea of what I want to set out to do. I have an idea of how I think this might go, but I'm open to what actually happens. I'm open to how it actually goes. What would that be like? To put down the need to steer everything and just be willing to face the emotion that shows up or that arrives that you feel when that's not how I would have done it is happening and real and right in front of you. Maybe your spouse forgets something that's really important to you. Well, the emotional child says, well, that means they don't care about me. The emotional adult says, I'm disappointed. I'm going to talk to them about that. When you did this, it made me feel this way because I made it mean you don't care about me. What did that mean? Asking for clarity. That's what the emotional adult does. The emotional child says, I don't know how to do that. I don't have that skill set. I'm not even sure what to ask. So it's your fault. It's your fault. When someone doesn't text you back, this people get so worked up about this. And I used to be one of those people. I know how exhausting it is. They must be upset with me. What did I do? Did they get it? What's happening here? I'm not important to them. The adult says, I don't actually know what's going on. That's the whole truth. I don't actually know what's going on. If you have not gotten a response from someone, you do not know what's going on. So when we're making assumptions, can we level those assumptions up from the assumption that an emotional child would make? And this means they haven't had experience feeling this before. And allow the emotional adult to say, I don't know what's going on, and this is uncomfortable. This is not something to solve. This just is what is right now in my day. I get to move on to the next thing and stop focusing on that if I want to. I can focus on my next thing. I can let my brain go back and forth a little bit. I wonder if they're upset with me. Oh, maybe, but you don't actually know what's going on. What's your next step? What are we doing next? Almost, it's almost like putting your emotions in training. It's like, oh, this is what we do when this happens. We don't need guilt and shame. We just need vulnerability. So guilt and shame, take a step back, and vulnerability, come on up. This is where you're needed. We want to feel all of the emotions at the right time. So our work is to see, is this emotion proportionate to the circumstance, or does it seem unnecessary? Right? Let's get rid of that failing feeling and give ourselves some a ground to stand on. There's information in every experience that we can use. We don't need to remove the feelings. We want the feelings. That changes when we allow the feeling of an experience to happen, it changes the relationship with the experience. An emotional adult says, I don't like this, but I can handle it. The behavior that comes from us, the emotional adult says that behavior is mine. I'm going to keep that. It belongs to me. I'm not going to say it's because of X, Y, or Z. It's because I chose to act in that way. My feelings are real, but they are not always facts. This is one of the biggest, there's so many big things, but this is one of the biggest things that I really try to hit home in our membership. Yes, that what you're feeling is a real experience. Nobody wants to deny that. But what's causing the feeling is not necessarily factual. And that's where coaching, gosh, it can just come in and help you pull apart what's the story around this whole circumstance and what's really true here. What do we really want to be looking at? What are we arguing for? Do we need to argue, or can we just adjust our plan to be reality-based, not wishful thinking. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up because I have another client as my watch timer just went off. What I want you to take away, I want you to take away what you take away, whether that's something or nothing. You got what you needed while you were here. My hope is that somewhere in there, you realize that it's okay to have emotion. That does not mean you're immature. That doesn't mean you're acting like a child. You want to stay connected to yourself while you're in the emotion, though. Don't become the emotion. Be in it. I'm experiencing anger right now, but I'm not angry. I'm experiencing this. I'm feeling disappointed, but I'm not disappointment. I'm feeling fear without quitting. I'm not a quitter, right? I'm not afraid. I'm willing to feel this. The goal is not to become emotionless, you all. It's to become emotionally capable. You can carry this. You do not need to control your feelings. Your feelings don't need to control you. A closing quote for you: emotional adulthood begins the moment you stop asking life to be different before you allow. I wish I could edit here and I can't. Here you go. Emotional adulthood begins the moment you stop asking life to be different before you allow yourself to lead yourself. Go get them. You're not too late for your goals. They're yours to get, so go get them. And when you stumble into emotion that feels like, oh, I'm supposed to get out of this, lead yourself through it. I'm a person who's experiencing overwhelm. What's going on in my mind? What do I need right now? If anything in today's episode resonated with you, I would so appreciate if you shared it with a friend. It helps us spread the message. It shows all of these platforms that, yes, what I'm saying has some type of value and maybe helps other people find us as well. The membership is always open, so feel free to check that out at birchandstonecoaching.com. $39 a month and too many classes to take. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. If something in today's episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to share it with a friend or leave a review. It helps others find this space. You can find full episode transcripts and learn more about our amazing team of coaches at www.birchandstonecoaching.com. Until next time, stay rooted, stay resilient, and keep rising. This life of ours is worth showing up for.